Last but not least, Canelo versus Bivol.
Canelo, just he's the pound for pound right now. So I don't think anybody's gonna beat him for a long time.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, when it comes to this Canelo Alvarez versus Bivol fight, I can't think of anyone that was picking Bivol to win the fight. I mean, outside of new media, me and Aki, you guys heard me say in countless videos leading up to the fight, even before the fight was signed, that I couldn't see Canelo Alvarez winning too many rounds in this fight. Outside of Canelo Alvarez always having a puncher's chance, the only way I could see Canelo winning this fight was by robbery. It was amazing to me the stuff that boxers like Bernard Hopkins and other fighters were saying when it came to their prediction on this fight. It's one thing to say I lean towards Canelo Alvarez. Like, it doesn't surprise too many people to hear Fundura say that Canelo wins the fight without any type of analytical breakdown and say it's because he's the best in the world. But you have fighters like Bernard Hopkins saying that this is a complete mismatch in favor of Canelo Alvarez. You have fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis saying that he's going to destroy Bivol. There was only one boxer that I can think of that actually was picking Bivol to win the fight. And you know who that was? Coincidentally, it was the first man to beat Canelo Alvarez, and that is Floyd Money Mayweather. As soon as Bivol won the fight, Floyd Mayweather came out and revealed that he had bet $10,000 on Bivol to pull off the upset and beat Canelo Alvarez. And Floyd Mayweather, he walked away with $42,000 or something like that. You know what really amazes me is when you have someone like Bernard Hopkins. As intelligent as Bernard Hopkins was in the ring, I would just expect him to have a much better analytical breakdown. But this just goes to show you how easily people can be compromised when it comes to following the popular narrative in the sport of boxing. I mean, this fight was kind of similar to when Bernard Hopkins beat Felix Tito Trinidad, even though Trinidad is a much better fighter than Canelo Alvarez, but there were some similarities. And the main similarities is the fact that it was pretty much the bull versus the matador, both fights. But there were occasions in this fight where the matador became the bull. So while once again, fighters like Bernard Hopkins, his prediction was like a casual fan that didn't even really watch boxing that much, you had Floyd Mayweather, who had a great idea of how this fight would play out. Floyd Mayweather, he completely understood that Canelo Alvarez was a flat-footed fighter, slow on his feet, doesn't have the best defense, and is really predictable. While you had all of these boxers that were completely hypnotized with old media talking points, saying how nobody can beat Canelo Alvarez, this is his era, he's the greatest of this era, etc., 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 Floyd Mayweather was shaking his head like, man, these dudes, they don't see all the flaws that Canelo Alvarez has. And you know what? Now that I think about it, there was someone else. There was another boxer, or at least a former boxer, former champion, who also implied that Bivol was going to win this fight, and it was Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia was doing an interview with Ellie Setback and other people that were at his gym. And it was funny because Robert, he started saying a lot of things that you guys heard me say. How Canelo, he struggled against Kovalev, and this guy is much better than Kovalev. And he says to Ellie that, man, I don't know, man. He just might get it. He just may win. And right as he said that, Ellie starts to cut him off and says, Canelo's going to win, man. Canelo's going to win. Like, it came off like Ellie was basically telling Robert Garcia he's saying the wrong thing on camera. Matter of fact, everyone around Robert Garcia was pretty much on some whoa, slow down. Don't mess around and say the wrong thing, Robert. And this just goes to show you that there were probably some people out there that were doing interviews that were uncomfortable to say, well, you know what, man, this Bivol guy, I think he has a really good chance. I mean, when you look at certain flaws when it comes to Canelo, they didn't feel comfortable. Some people didn't even feel comfortable going against the grain. Once again, this is not to imply that there's something wrong with you if you do say Canelo is going to win the fight. My point is there were no analytical breakdowns, and a lot of people who picked Canelo, it sounded like they were just going off of the popular name. In fact, Gervonta Tank Davis, he said that Bivol was going to get destroyed. He said Canelo was going to destroy him, and then shortly after that, admitted that he didn't even know who Bivol was. But clearly Floyd Mayweather knew who he was, and he did his homework. It's rather ironic that a lot of these Canelo Alvarez fans continuously said before Canelo lost to Bivol, he's just doing everything that Floyd Mayweather did. But as soon as he tries to do even half of what Floyd Mayweather did, he takes another L at age 31. Right in his prime, he takes an L against an opponent that was a 5-1 underdog. You guys have to understand, this is not a situation where Canelo moved up to heavyweight and was taking on an undefeated Usyk or someone like that. It would be easier to justify a loss like that because you really are taking on a serious challenge and you're going to be at a massive disadvantage. But when it comes to the Bivol fight, once again, Canelo Alvarez, he was a huge betting favorite. And yet he ends up getting beat by that underdog and losing worse than he lost against Gennady Golovkin. You know, I would always tell you guys, because Canelo Alvarez fans would always be in my comment section trying to compare Canelo Alvarez, the young in his prime Canelo, the 29-year-old, the 30, or even younger than that. They would always try to compare the young Canelo to the 36 or 37-year-old Floyd Mayweather. And I would always tell you, if you're going to compare them to what they did at the same age, because we don't know where Canelo is going to be at by the time he gets 36. But now we have a pretty good idea after him taking another L against Bivol. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at Scalp Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP. And I saw some pictures of some guys, a before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention. So I Googled it, SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, Scalp Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, can you fix this? And he pretty much said, no problem. My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and about our families and our life, and and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, Scalp Carolinas, to get this done.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.